here. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And to all of you, welcome. In this political environment, it is particularly heartening to be here surrounded by friends and colleagues and family. I'm going to point somewhere over to my husband and daughter and son and my new son-in-law, but to be surrounded by people who I care about, to celebrate the progress we've made, and we've made a lot, and to consider the reality of where we are today. A reality that is far more complicated than we ever could have imagined, and that may test us in ways that we had not planned for. But it is also a reality that will not stop us. At this critical time in our nation's history, there is no better place than to be right here in Boston, the cradle of liberty and opportunity. I know you're hearing a lot about Boston, but it is the cradle of liberty and opportunity. From the revolutionaries who gathered in these streets to the innovators shaping the future, Boston reminds us that America is at its best when we fight for what is right. No matter what the odds, no matter the opposition, and right now, we are in the fight of our lifetime. A struggle that will decide whether we lead or are left behind in the clean energy economy that will define the 21st century and the kind of world we will live in. How we confront the threats to the planet we depend on, climate, nature, water, before it becomes much, much harder. And how we chart a path through this era of bitter divisiveness, where Americans' concerns about security, energy, and fairness are being weaponized to no one's benefit but special interests. This struggle is precisely why our work together matters so much. We have together made so much progress. The private sector strategies and innovation we've championed, not just to guard against climate risk, but to unlock shared prosperity, are driving a new wave of possibilities. The clean energy economy isn't just growing, it is booming globally, attracting more than $2 trillion in investments this year, double the amount of fossil fuels. From EVs and batteries to clean steel and sustainable agriculture, the race to dominate the industries of the future is on. Yet in this moment of massive geopolitical change, the federal government isn't just putting the brakes on clean energy and US competitiveness, it is actively obstructing them. It is creating gridlock and market friction. It is putting tens of billions of dollars in clean energy and manufacturing investment at risk here in the United States, along with those good-paying jobs that go with it. And it is tipping the playing field in ways that will make our world dirtier, hotter, more expensive, and dangerous. Just think about it. In just the first half of this year, extreme storms, droughts, and floods cost $93 billion in damages across the US, devastating businesses, communities, and families. And meanwhile, these special interests are also putting hundreds of bills nationwide into the marketplace and pushing them. Their goal? To force companies and investors to outright ignore the effects of climate, nature, and water risks when making business and investment decisions, all without a care for the fallout, literally, of our children's future, our engines of innovation, and our strength as a nation. That is why tonight, in the cradle of liberty, we are calling on the private sector to be the cradle of courage. We can't let them silence the most powerful players in our economy, the companies and investors proving every day that investing in clean energy and nature solutions and cutting carbon is about building a future that works. A future where our businesses, our communities, and our loved ones thrive, because our economy is strong, our water is clean, and our environment is healthy. Ceres is unique in that we bring the voice of investors and businesses into the sustainability debate and have for 35 years. We work with the world's largest investors and companies to integrate responsible practices in all that they do as businesses, to limit their impact on the world, and to create opportunities for them. And in this moment, we are helping them lead with courage, bringing them together to do just that, because for all the talk that businesses are afraid to speak out, the private sector leaders we are working with are not backing down. Dozens and dozens of major businesses joined us on Capitol Hill this year to defend the clean energy incentives. At Climate Week in New York, just a few weeks ago, we convened hundreds of companies and investors who, with Ceres, are absolutely moving forward. Most businesses, not all, but most businesses are holding firm on their climate and their water and their nature goals. They know that sustainability is good for their business and the bottom line. And attempts to restrict private investment have largely failed because leaders in the private sector push back. We are working with investors, business groups, and a growing number of center-right voices, Republican members of Congress and others, to build a broader, lasting coalition. But we need others to join as well. The key is the urgency is real. The urgency is now. Bold action by both the private and public sector is needed to bring down emissions in the most polluting industries right here in Boston and across the country. And investors and businesses must double down on the clean economy investments that continue to spur innovation and jobs. And most importantly, powerful voices from corporate America must stand up and speak up for what they know to be true, that sustainability and cheap, fast-to-deploy clean energy make the most economic sense. Because the narrative about what's good for this country and its citizens is being hijacked, and the future of the US economy and the health of our planet along with it. We're veering towards a path that's the opposite of where most of the world is going. Yes, we are facing headwinds, but we also have the momentum to break through them. Every single one of you in this room understands the urgency and the opportunity of this moment. This is no time for retreat. This is a time for courage. This is a time to show that the American clean energy economy is unstoppable. If Boston taught America anything, it is that the future is won by those who refuse to back down. Let us be those leaders. Let us not back down and move forward together. Thank you very much for being here.